Let's make it a good day.
Coming up today, scary moments for Suzanne Summers as a home intruder shows up at her house while she's live on Facebook.
Okay, you shouldn't be here.
Yeah.
We have the dish. Then, it's all about chocolate today. First up, wine diva Leslie Miller returns with the perfect wine to pair with your favorite Valentine's Day treats. And the Cooking Mom is helping you step up your dessert game with a recipe that absolutely has Cupid's seal of approval. Here we go.
Let's make it a good day. We do it our own way. Let's make it a good day. Oh, no matter what they say. Oh, yeah.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. And welcome to The Jason Show. As we kick off a brand new week, I'm Jace. Please welcome my sidekick sister from another mister, the one and only Kendall Mark, everybody.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How you doing?
I'm really happy to be away from the traffic monitor.
I was going to say, I got to ask you a question about that in a minute.
Yep.
But first, let's say hello to our virtual audience today. We have a full house. We have Sarah. Good morning, Sarah. Sarah, turn off. Yeah, there we go. Hi,
Good
Sarah.
morning.
Sarah, you're from
morning.
Osceola, right, Sarah?
Yes, I am in
And-
beautiful Wisconsin.
I hear your husband is a dairy farmer.
Yes, he is.
May I come work on your farm this summer?
Sure, we're always looking for willing workers. I think you'd make a great asset to the farm, Jason.
I like the way she said that. I would make a great. I think I would too. Luann, look at you having the baby Yoda, Luann.
This belongs to my grandsons, Max and Micah. I had to bring them along.
I love it. And then look, the mug behind you. That didn't go unnoticed,
Yeah.
Luann. That doesn't go unnoticed. And finally,
Yep.
last but not least, it's our friend Joe. Hello, Joe.
Hi, guys.
Joe, where are you zooming in from, my friend?
Rosemount.
Perfect. Is that your family right above you on the, what is that, a four-wheeler, three-wheeler? What is that above you?
Yes, those are my daughters on their four-wheeler.
What are their names, Joe?
Hannah and Haley.
Beautiful
Twin
names.
girls.
Well, we're going to talk with our audience all throughout the show, so stay right there. But Traffic Tina, Traffic Teresa, Traffic Tracy, beep, beep. You had a busy morning this morning.
I did. It was so crazy. It was cuckoo bananas.
Yeah.
It was very unexpectedly so. When I come in knowing it's going to be like that because it's snowing, it's, whatever. It's one thing, but when you walk in, you're like, ba-boom, 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 ba-boom. That's how I felt.
We had 800 million spinouts today.
I think that's a pretty good approximation, 800 million.
Yeah, everyone just be careful. I knew, got into the radio show, and my traffic guy on the morning show and the radio show is Kenny. Kenny, the traffic kitty. And I knew he was just right off the top of the broadcast. He was telling me it's just a nightmare.
Yeah.
So
It was so crazy. I know that Ricky came in and he said, I'm 30 minutes late because 169 was so backed up. I was like, well, I told you.
yeah, you
I
listen
know.
to Kendall. And again, if
crazy.
you want Traffic Tina reports, watch Fox 9 Morning News or Kendall Mark, right? You put stuff on your Twitters,
Yeah,
don't
it's
you?
all over Twitter. It's Kendall Mark Fox 9 on Twitter. There's the Fox 9 because there was already a Kendall Mark, so I had to just add.
Well, we got to sue her. Why does she have your name?
I've tried. I've been like,
Who is she?
You didn't even tweet. This person doesn't even exist. Can
Kendall-
I just have the handle?
Is she from here? Where is she?
I don't know.
We got to find her. Kendall Mark, you're not the
coming.
real one. That's the real one right there.
Come in.
There's another Jason Matheson spelled with an O,
Yeah.
an architect.
An architect.
Yeah.
Huh.
Way smarter than I am.
Oh, well, there's a lot of Mark Kendalls. Like, it likes to just automatically flip my name.
Yeah. Hey, coming up on the show, we also have a Show Us Your Weekend. Thanks. We always love that. It's a great part of us Monday. And also, as we said, chocolate. It's all about chocolate today.
Yes.
Cooking Mom, and then Leslie Miller. We're
gonna be
mixing.
so good.
Leslie Miller could mix wine with anything. She really could. We've had her. Ted has had her. Hey, Leslie, can you pair it with liver? Sure.
Sure, why not? Well, I think the best part of the whole morning was me thinking Leslie Miller is a former actress.
Yeah.
And we were talking about
The
Suzanne
tease.
Summers acting, and I was like, Leslie Miller was an actress?
Well, speaking of Suzanne Summers, let's get started, everybody. It is time for the hot dish. Here we go.
Slow-mo.
Thanks. Hey, there was a big game on yesterday. Don't know if you knew.
Oh.
If I say Super Bowl, I'll be sued. So we'll just call it a big game. Congrats to Tom Brady on his 800th Super Bowl win. But let's focus on the important things, like the halftime show. It was all about the weekend. He even put up millions of his own dollars to take things to the next level. We'll look at the clip. We'll discuss on the other side.
And I know she'll be the death of me, at least we both be known. And she'll always get the best of me, the worst is yet to come. But at least we'll both be beautiful and stay forever young. This I know, yeah.
I'm going to recreate that tonight.
Oh.
It's the weekend. I always try to start with the positive. I'm a fan. I love his music. I don't know if his music is like rah, 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 Super Bowl halftime show-esque music. I don't. I'm being positive. I like him. He's an amazing artist. I think he did the best he could with the limitations that were on him. He didn't have full access to the field, so he brilliantly used the end zone, I think that's what it's called, to his advantage.
Yep.
He spent his own money. Is that, I did get it right, right?
You did get
Thank
it
you.
right.
I was just going to call them the bleachers, but he used the end zone. And then he had the people with the bandages on them that looked like underwear. My mom probably was like, why do they have athletic underpants on their faces? But now here's where I don't know. I wanted to love it more than I did, if I'm being very honest. It was just kind of like, eh. And I saw some people on Twitter, or my friend Alexis told me, that some people were saying that it was as good as Prince at the Super Bowl. To quote Steel Magnolias, "Are you high, Clarice?" No. And I'm not even a giant Prince fan. Prince at the Super Bowl, nothing better. Your thought?
I'm not arguing anything with Prince, especially not in Minnesota.
Yeah.
I'm gonna lay away from that one. Don't want the emails. I really liked his performance. However, I know my parents' friends, they were like, I hated it because they like the traditional rock band performance.
Yeah.
I really liked it. I love his music. I love what he did with what like you said, what he had to work with. I thought it was entertaining and energizing, and I don't know how much else you could do as a performer by yourself at the Super Bowl.
Luann, let's go to the audience. Luann, did you watch, Luann?
I watched it and I didn't care for it. Lady Gaga is still my favorite.
Oh,
Ooh.
Lady Gaga jumping off the roof. I mean, what more is that?
That's true.
Sarah, unmute yourself. What did you see it, Sarah?
I did see it. It was a little bit like, what's happening out there? And that was our thoughts on the headgear as well. But I'm a huge Bruno Mars fan, and he was probably one of my favorites as well as Prince. But I'm an 80s baby, so 70s baby. So that's my kind of my jam.
Let's say hello. Sally just joined us. Hi, Sally.
Hello.
Hi, sweetheart. Good to see you.
Shouldn't update your computer the night before you try and do a Zoom meeting.
Sally, is that why you were... Sally, the show's not over, Sally. Sit down, Sally. Sit down.
You can be blinded.
Sally, I love you already. Oh, God, I love our audience. We'll check back in with them in just a little bit. Sally's getting up, walking around. I love it. Next in the dish. Suzanne Summers was in the Infomercial Hall of Fame for a reason, girl. She can sell a product no matter what is thrown her way. This is what I mean. Over the weekend, during a Facebook Live show, she was like showing her makeup. An intruder at her house showed up and didn't faze her one bit. Look at this.
Who are you?
I'm Aaron Carpenter. I don't know, have you heard of me?
No. How did you
okay.
get here?
How? A friend led me up this hill, and then I came down,
Oh.
and...
Okay, you shouldn't be here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is our house.
But anyway, you don't scare me.
I've
but
seen pictures of this
Yeah.
house before.
Yeah, you shouldn't be here.
Oh, I'm not a scary person whatsoever.
I know, but
I'm very...
I'm not used to people being on our property.
I'm sorry, I didn't realize
Okay.
it was a property.
Yeah, and we're doing a
Okay.
show right now.
There are so many things to talk about. So first, she later said the man was shirtless and in flip-flops, like most people in California. They called the police and the man was like reprimanded.
That's it? Like a...
Well, Can we acknowledge how calm she was under pressure? If I was doing a Facebook Live and some rando walked in and was like, hey, girl, like I would be screaming. I'd be so dramatic. I would look into the camera and I'd be like, call the police. Suzanne, did you hear Suzanne? You probably shouldn't be here. How about, no, you shouldn't be here, rando?
She must have read that situation so well to like know that she needed to be calm, because then she said, you hear her go, I'm not afraid of you, I'm not, and he's like, oh no, I'm not scary. And she's like, I'm not used to people being on my property. I
did that. I had a party once. I had a Christmas party.
Yeah.
That executive producer Jeff was at.
The infamous party.
I had a Christmas party one time, and a friend of mine invited someone that I didn't invite. And we're sitting here, and this was toward the end of the night, and I'm facing my door, and this guy walks into my house. And I wasn't very hostessy. I went, what are you doing in my house? Like, who are you? Oh no, I said that. I go, who are you?
Who are you?
And he goes, I'm Joe. And I go, Joe, what are you doing in my house? Nobody invited you, Joe. Get out.
I know.
Yeah.
I would lose my mind
too. Why did I use, not that Joe, not audience Joe. Now Joe would be invited to my house. I'm just using a random name. Now,
he's like, wow.
Audience member Joe would be allowed in my house. I'm talking, this guy just walks in willy-nilly. He's like, hi, I heard there are fish sticks here. I'm like, no, get out. We have more to come. Stay right there. We'll be back right after this, everybody. Joe's always invited to my house. More hot dishes coming out of the oven. Coming up next, more drama for SNL. Did the show steal a joke, like an entire skit, from a comedian? Oh boy, the details are just ahead. Then they go together like peas and carrots. Wine and chocolate. Leslee Miller is here with the perfect pairs for Valentine's Day. And sticking with the chocolate theme, the cooking mom is whipping up some Cupid-approved desserts that will make your Valentine swoon. That and more is still ahead.
So you two have a popular YouTube channel where you react to songs you hear for the very first time, like Bohemian Rhapsody or Can't Touch This or Jolene.
Jolene, Dolly Parton went off with that one, boy.
Oh, man, it's like a story. Jolene can take your man if she want to.
Cut it out, Jolene. Stop.
And you two have never heard that song before that moment.
Nah, was it popular?
Baby Shark is wild.
Yo, baby, like do-do-do-do-do-do-do.
Why is that Baby Shark by himself?
Yeah, tell that Baby Shark go home, baby.
So that song has almost 8 billion views on YouTube, and that's the first time you ever heard it.
For sure, but honestly, it's the first time I'm hearing about baby sharks. Like, that's crazy. I thought they were born full-grown sharks already.
All right, let's try this one.
No, they didn't, yo. No, they didn't do it.
I didn't even know that cats could get happy like that.
SNL doing a parody. You remember them, the two guys who went viral after listening to Phil Collins for the very first time. I love it. It's, if you haven't, go look. They'll crack you up. You know, on Mondays we get a special serving of hot dish all the way from California. Please give it up for Brad from TMZ. Hi, Brad.
Hey, good morning, Jason. Happy Super Bowl Monday. How are you?
I'm doing well. Okay, speaking of SNL, I mean, last week they had the Michael Che controversy. Today, there's a comedian who is upset about one of their sketches. Why?
Well, they had a sketch on Saturday night that's getting a lot of attention, and it was a Zillow sketch about the online realtor website, and essentially comparing it to the fantasies that some adults have. But there is one comedian who is really upset, and his name is Ted Alexandro. And the reason he's upset, and he's included some video evidence as well, he says that the entire sketch is based off of a stand-up series that he did in New York City a few years ago. And he has been relentlessly going after SNL, asking for credit for this thing, saying that they ripped him off. And if you look at the video of his stand-up from a couple years ago, it does seem to lay the groundwork. Now, whether or not this was an original idea or if someone had seen his work for inspiration, I mean, Ted says in his stand-up, he says, look, my partner and I, we don't sext, we send Zillow listings. And he kind of makes some jokes like, oh, 3-bedroom, 3 bathrooms, wow. I mean, it's a really funny stand-up, and it was a really funny sketch by SNL, but interesting to see if they'll address it.
Yeah, my radio producer, Brad, did a mashup. A little bit of theirs, a little bit of his, a little bit of theirs. And when you hear it like that, it is striking.
Absolutely. And it's hard to imagine that this sketch could have been done without at least having some knowledge of what Ted did.
Okay, so it feels like just 7 hours ago, we were talking to folks about Aaron Rodgers. He had a new love interest. And now he's engaged?
Yeah, it's a little more than an interest now, Jason. It's a fiance. Aaron won NFL MVP over the weekend at the NFL Awards, and in his speech, he dropped some information saying that not only he had been engaged, and then he, of course, used the word fiance a little bit later in the speech. Now, of course, most people who weren't familiar with that first news that he was dating someone probably find out it's actress Shailene Woodley, who he's now engaged to. And of course, it's surprising news because, like I said, we just found out he was dating her after his relationship with Danica Patrick, and now the two are engaged.
Okay, Brad, do we think this is real, or was he just messing with the press?
I think it's real because Aaron is very, very secretive about his private life. So I think for him to make a joke out of something like this and kind of put a lot of attention on it is just very not Aaron Rodgers-like. So I think if he's going to put his personal life out there, it's truly someone he's in love with and someone who he's engaged to.
Mm-hmm. This is the point where I just zip my lip and I don't say anything. Minnesota's own Mod Sun, who used to date Bella Thorne, has a new love interest, right?
Yes, Mod Sun. I believe he's actually a local
he is.
You guys. But yeah, he and Avril Lavigne, a lot of romance rumors after the two have a new single together, and we got them out in Los Angeles last week. And you notice as he's getting in the car, he has her name tattooed on the back of his neck, which means love, right?
Yep. Nothing says love like getting the person's name on your neck. Yep.
Little painful.
Little painful. It's an area that I hear is very painful for tattoos.
I'll take your word.
Perfect. Brad, have a good week, my friend. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Jason. You too.
Do you think the Aaron Rodgers thing is real?
I don't know. I can't tell. I know Ted said to you that he doesn't.
No. Producer Ted, who is a giant fan.
Yeah.
He reminds me of his statistics all the time, Aaron Rodgers. Says he's just messing with the press. I don't know.
I mean, she'd have to be in on it. Otherwise, that'd be pretty insulting.
Or maybe it's not her. Maybe he's not engaged to her.
Wow, this just got so twisted potato. I don't even know what's happening anymore.
Stranger things have happened. Not saying. Next to the dish, we're running down some of our favorite Super Bowl commercials, and we begin. Okay, now not a lot of people had this on their best of list, but I loved this. It was for Paramount Plus, because you know CBS All Access is changing to Paramount Plus. So look at this.
And so our heroes reach the summit of Paramount Mountain, where they are greeted by a very handsome man in a tuxedo. Patrick Stewart? Yes. It was I who summoned you all here. But why?
Don't you see? This is a metaphor for how we're all streaming on Paramount Plus now.
Bingo, genius.
Sorry, we climbed all the way up this mountain for a metaphor.
Well, some of us did.
Well, it is elegant storytelling.
It's a little complicated.
I lost an arm.
I lost a glove.
I'm going home.
Oh, silly goose, you are home. We live here now, on Mount Paramount. Isn't it glorious?
Isn't it glorious? That's all CBS's stars. By the way, Paramount Plus launches in March. Creative. Using the iconic, I mean, when you think of movie studio logos, there's a few that, well, you know, the Columbia woman, the shield for the WB, 20th Century Fox, the big fanfare, the big letters. and Paramount the Mountain. It's brilliant to use that for all their intellectual properties.
Yeah,
you know?
well, and all of the commercials that they did about this were all funny.
Yeah.
Like the Beavis and Butthead thing with when they said crack.
Yeah.
It's really funny.
Yeah, because you should know it's a whole series that
Yeah.
led up to that.
Yes.
So go to the Twitter and type in Paramount Plus and watch all of them. I love seeing Gail King. Gail's like, I'm out of here.
I gotta
I'm
go.
done.
I like
gotta go."
Snooki personally. but-
Snooki was great.
Yeah.
Snooki goes, when one of them, Snooki goes, I'm too sober for this. Walking up Paramount Mountain. Anyway,
great.
bravo. Next up, General Motors tapped the comedic talents. This is my favorite. If I have to name a favorite, so this is Will Ferrell promoting electric cars for GM. Look at this.
Did you know that Norway sells way more electric cars per capita than the US? Norway. Well, I won't stand for it. Come on. Never mind. With GM's new Ultium battery, we're gonna crush those losers.
Okay, so if we just keep watching here, so he goes to Kenan Thompson's house, who's having a party for his kids. He gets them to go to Norway. And then he goes over to Aquafina's house right about now. Aquafina is doing archery in her backyard, and they eventually all go to Norway. Look at that. They all go to Norway, but Will accidentally ends up in Sweden. And it's just so well done. Did you like this one?
So Will Ferrell.
Yeah.
Like kind of comedy.
Oh,
I liked it. I did.
And I don't always like Will Ferrell's comedy, but this commercial, I really did LOL. I laughed out loud when I saw it this morning because I was watching TLC last night. Timothy Chalamet starred in a Cadillac commercial as Edgar, the son of 90s icon Edward Scissorhands. Look.
This is the story of a boy with scissors for hands. No, not that one.
Edgar, you're gonna be late.
This one. My son, Edgar.
Bye, sweetie.
Next up, Lancer Street.
How magnets of opposite poles can actually...
Yo, Edgar!
So good. Nostalgia always works, guys. It always works, especially nowadays. The commercial was promoting Cadillac's hands-free cruise control. And how good does Winona Ryder look?
That was so crafty. Even like thinking of that specific movie and then getting all those people lined up. You think about all the parts that moved to do that.
Well, and it's a
Bravo.
perfect thing for Chalamet.
Right.
And finally, this is my second favorite. Aaron Rodgers returned to the game, but for State Farm. Look.
Hey, Ratchets, look! I'm you! Jake from State Farm. You couldn't find a stand-in who looked anything like me?
Have you seen mine?
It's like looking in a mirror, right? Now that one makes sense.
Look, guys, I don't even have a stand-in.
Of course you do. Hold on, is that Drake?
That's right. Drake from State Farm. Like a good neighbor. Like a good neighbor. Stand-ins don't have lines. Oh, okay. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
I love it. I love the whole Jake from State Farm series. I love it. The actor's name is Kevin Miles, who plays Jake from State Farm. Let's go to the audience. Joe, did you like the commercials? How do you think they were?
It had Will Ferrell in it, so I'm a fan.
Exactly. See, I know. I loved that one. Sarah, how about you? What did you think of the commercials overall?
I thought they were pretty good. I'm a big sucker for the progressive commercials, the don't become your parents ones. Those crack me up.
Oh, that was a good one. Thank you, audience. Yeah. I think overall, last year they were horrible.
Yeah.
This year, the winners of the Super Bowl were Tom Brady and the commercials.
I liked the Bud Light Lemons and then the Rocket Mortgage with Tracy Morgan when he's like, where he thinks like,
Yes.
you think? Or it's something like that. Be sure, essentially, is their big thing.
Yeah. Still ahead, everybody, a couple chocolate segments for your taste buds. The Cooking Mom is here with some chocolate desserts. But first, the Wine Diva will pair chocolate and wine for Valentine's Day. That and more when we come back. Back in a moment, everyone. Welcome back. We are less than 1 week away from Valentine's Day. Can you believe it? So you may want to bust out your best chocolate and wine. Before you do, you'll want to know what goes together beautifully. Joining us is the Wine Diva, the mistress of Merlot, the Chanteuse of Chardonnay, Leslie Miller from Amuse Wine. Good morning, friends.
Almost happy Valentine's Day.
Almost happy Valentine's Day. Okay, let me ask you generally, you would think it's easy. Is pairing wine with chocolate easy?
No. In fact, that's why we're doing this segment today, Jason, because it is more difficult than you think. Actually, the tannins from chocolate and the tannins from red wines often collide, making that pairing a little bit bitter.
See, I thought you told me that before, and I found that interesting because I think, you know, in movies and stuff, they make it seem like, oh, of course you're gonna have chocolates and wine, but it's difficult. So what do we have?
Well, the rule of thumb with desserts is that you kind of always want a wine that's just one titch sweeter than what you're actually having on your plate. And when it comes to something like white chocolate, that's pretty difficult because white chocolate is actually very sweet. My suggestion for white chocolates would be something that has a little bit more sweetness to it, like a really beautiful Moscato. Now, when we think of Moscato, we either turn our noses up or we go, yay, Moscato. But in fact, there's some really pretty, you know, Moscatos from Northern Italy. This one is actually just nice, light, frothy, very orangey in complexity. Also just like a slightly sweet Riesling. So a nice, clean German Riesling with just a little bit of residual sugar, meaning that it was left over in the grape process. And those two actually match up perfectly with something like white chocolate that is sweet.
Got it. Okay, let's move to a different type of chocolate.
All right, so milk chocolate. I mean, this is another one that's really difficult because you think, okay, we're working on the sweeter side, but you have some more round, sort of buttery tones with milk chocolate, especially if you're gonna go with something like toffee, almonds, you know, things like that have a little crunch to them. You want a white wine that has some roundness, big voluptuous notes. Now, this is where I would suggest picking a California Chardonnay that has a little bit of a wood tone to it, more caramel, cinnamon, nutmeg. I also love the grape Pinot Gris. Pinot Gris, Pinot Grigio, same grape. What I would do is actually pick up something from like New Zealand or Oregon, California, and you have yourself a really good pairing to milk chocolate.
Is that, Leslie, that wine in front of you, I think you have given me to try that right in front of you. What is that brand right there?
This is Morisco, and this is it's called the Ned, which is actually the point of the mountain where it's grown in New Zealand. Do you like it?
I do. That's why I wanted to recommend it to folks. It's really, so what's the brand again? Because I want folks to get that one.
Morisco, Marisco, and it's about maybe $12, $13. So it's a really great value,
Next kind of chocolate?
Okay, so dark chocolate, because that's what we're always indulging in, right?
Yeah.
And when you think of dark chocolate, you actually, again, you want a red wine that has just a little sneak of, again, leftover sugar somewhere in the process. And generally the grape that really is kind of key for that is the grape Zinfandel. Now, Zinfandel, because it actually hangs on the vine a little bit longer, there is always a little bit more of that unctuous, sort of rounder, sweeter tone to it. You know, this one's really easy. This is very, very easy to find. This is Marietta Old Vine Red. You can find it everywhere. I think it's like $10, $11. A really great value for dark chocolate overall. Very easy.
OVR, right? Look for that label.
Old Vine Red, yes. Made by Marietta. Yep.
Another good one. Okay, next kind of chocolate?
Okay, so you also probably are going to pick up something maybe with some fruit, some cute cherries, maybe something with a little bit of raspberry. And oftentimes they say match to that fruit. So you don't clobber the fruit, but you actually kind of snuggle up next to it. And this is a very traditional old school pairing, but you know, pick up a great little port. And this is super fun. So this is actually Grams out of Portugal. Remember that port is from Portugal. And there are two styles of port. There's a ruby port and there's a tawny port. A ruby port is what you want if you're trying to pick up some fruit notes in that chocolate. A ruby is just glass aged, whereas a tawny is barrel aged. You get more of those caramelly tones with a barrel, but this is fresh, it's sort of bouncy purple fruit that will go with actually kind of nice strawberry, raspberry tones in the actual chocolate.
We have about 30 seconds. What's that one on the end, Leslie?
last, I'm going to bring this back because I'm such a huge fan of sherry. Of course, you can never go wrong with sherry, and caramels. Anything that's sort of caramely, sherry definitely has more of like a, rounder, buttery, almost like brown butter tone to it. I love the grape Pedro Jimenez. You cannot go wrong with these pairings, you guys.
Perfect. Happy Valentine's Day, Ms. Leslie.
Happy Valentine's Day to you. We'll obviously have all these pairings up on the Facebook page at our site as well later.
Absolutely, and that site is amusewine.com. We'll also post this on the Jason Show Facebook page. Still ahead, what did everyone do this weekend? Well, we're going to show you with our segment that we love on Mondays, Show Us Your Weekend. Next, back in a moment.
Let's make it a good day. We do it our own way. Let's make it a good day. Oh, no matter
Back to the show, everybody. Happy Monday. Super Bowl Monday, where 80% of you are calling in sick. You're probably on your couch watching our show because of it, and for that, we thank you. It's one of the highlights of Monday morning on our show, seeing how all of you spent your weekend. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for Show Us Your Weekend. The cold didn't keep everyone inside this weekend. Mary says, hi Mary, she took a 3-mile hike on Bear Creek Trail in Superior yesterday when it was 5 below. You are brave, Mary. And Ann went on a 2-mile walk with her beloved despite the minus 27-degree wind chill. Derry says 10-year-old EJ and his grandma are true Minnesotans, embracing the winter. They volunteered at the Winter Carnival Snow and Ice Sculpture drive-thru. And someone notified Director Leo. Krista and her friends went curling outside at Sociable Cider Works. Leo would be proud. But a lot of you stayed inside this weekend. Nancy watched the Puppy Bowl with her dog Stella. Sue and her dog Louie did the same thing. Meanwhile, Anita and her cats watched Harry Potter. Instead of TV, Kathy played the classic game of life with her grandson. That's a good choice. April started a 2,000-piece puzzle with their 12-year-old. And Tyla says her girls started working on their Valentines for class. Speaking of Valentines, Rhoda, I love that name, says her son got engaged to a lovely woman. Congratulations, guys. We all love ice cream, and Sandy says she celebrated National Eat Ice Cream for Breakfast Day on Saturday by making popovers with cinnamon ice cream and honey. Oh, I love that. She also added ice cream to her coffee. Atta girl. Sandy is doing it right. Linda made hot chocolate bobs to give to her friends in the neighborhood on Valentine's Day. Those are beautiful. And the cold didn't stop Nancy from grilling pork tenderloins in Platteville, Wisconsin. Many of you whipped up some Super Bowl snacks. Danette made bacon-wrapped jalapeno poppers, potato skins, mozzarella sticks, pigs in a blanket, and pretzel bites with cheese. Love that. And we love to see this. Kathy made Stephanie Hansen's chicken wing recipe she shared with us last week. Allie did the same and says they were a hit. Love it. Thanks to all of you. People love those Stephanie Hansen chicken wings.
I know.
Loves them.
I love all the things she makes. If you actually go on and make them, like, they're simple and delicious.
Will you play a game with me real quick?
Yes.
I'm going to imitate, we're going to play Director Leo.
Okay.
I'm going to imitate Director Leo in the control room during that segment.
Okay.
I just want you to randomly say curling, okay?
Mhm.
Give me a second, though.
Yep.
I'm Leo, okay?
So then the other day people went curling and...
That was Leo during that segment. He takes a nap during, he takes a nap during our show.
Mhm.
He works hard. No, he doesn't.
All morning.
Director Leo's the best. He deserves a nap. He directs 87 hours of television every morning.
Seriously, he's always in my ear.
I
I'm like,
would
you're still
nap
here?
during this show if I was Leo. Still ahead. I'm napping now. Still ahead, the cooking mom will join us with some chocolate desserts. That and more when we come back. Back in a moment. Curling, Leo. Curling. Welcome back, dear friends. Oh, I love when this woman's on the show. She's my friend. You can't talk about chocolate too much before Valentine's Day. You just can't. I mean, there's never enough chocolate. And if you're looking to step up your dessert game ahead of the big day, We have a couple recipes for you. Joining us with some of her favorites is our good friend, the cooking mom, Amy Hatton. Hi, Amy.
Hey, Dave. Hey, everybody. I have a total confession. I am a chocoholic. I love really good chocolate. I'm not talking about the not so great stuff. I mean, I like this seriously dark chocolate, and I probably eat a little bit of chocolate, just a little bit, like every single day. Don't tell anybody.
Hey, that's all right. It's the pandemic. We're allowed to, believe me.
Exactly. So these are two desserts that you might find at your favorite kind of fancy restaurant that I have been really craving, because obviously I'm not going to a lot of fancy restaurants. None of us are. And it's really fun to do like a date night in. I'm not saying don't support your local restaurants. Takeout is wonderful. And even going to the restaurants that are doing a great job. But it's really fun to make a special date night dinner in and a special dessert. So these are two winners. They seem real fancy, but they're super easy breezy. The first thing I'm going to do is, I love that dense flourless chocolate cake that you get at some of the fancy restaurants. It's like super fudgy. I found a way that you can do it at home. It's like crazy easy. So the first thing I'm going to do, and I'm going to do it in muffin tins. So they're really cute little individual desserts, so you don't even have to worry about cutting them. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take some butter. Yep, we've got some butter here. And then some good quality semi-sweet chocolate chips. And that's key. You don't want to get the generic in this case. You just really want to get the good stuff. You know what I'm saying? And then I'm going to pop that in the microwave just to carefully melt that chocolate for like 30 seconds. Now I'm doing these in muffin tins, which really works out great. You don't need to have a fancy tart pan or anything like that. I don't even own one of those, keeping it real. So I'm just really spraying, or you can butter your muffin cups. And I'm going to check on my chocolate. This is just a few ingredients, and you can't believe how yummy they are. In just a minute, too, I'm going to show you how to make chocolate mousse, some of the best chocolate mousse ever, in your blender. It's like that crazy easy.
Well, and Amy, I'm so glad. Yeah. Amy, I'm so glad you said that about the quality of the chocolate, because you can save some money on other things, but the quality of your chocolate really, it's important, because it helps. It melts better. Chocolate melts better. It's creamier. It doesn't get gritty.
All of the above, Jace. Okay, well, my butter and my chocolate chips are melting. I'm going to skip ahead to the mousse, and then I'll get back to these flourless chocolate cupcakes. I love chocolate mousse. I mean, who doesn't love getting chocolate mousse at a French restaurant? You don't see it on a lot of menus, and it's so easy to make at home. So the first thing, again, I've got some good quality dark chocolate chips. Yes, if you're not a dark chocolate person, you could also use the milk chocolate chips, but I like the semi-sweet. And then 1 egg, and you know I love cooking with a little bit of booze. You know I do.
I know.
So I've got a little Kahlua. This is optional. You could also use vanilla, but we know the whole coffee. This is coffee liqueur and chocolate really kind of works together. So I'm just going to do a little splash of that. So I've got an egg, chocolate chips, and a little bit of Kahlua or vanilla. Now I've got this in my blender. The blender is going to do the work. It's going to chop up that chocolate. All right. So I'm just going to kind of, Arlo, my dog. A little bit loud. I apologize for that. So that kind of starts to chop up the chocolate. And then I've got a cup of heavy whipping cream that I heated. Carefully heat this because it can get really hot. Then we're going to add that heavy cream to the chocolate chips, the Kahlua, and that egg. And that's going to help melt it. Be very careful with that hot cream in the blender. And then we're going to do it one more time just to get it nice and smooth. And then we're ready to rock and roll.
The dog is obviously not afraid of the blender noise.
I know. I'm sorry about that. There's no other way to do this but make a lot of noise. And even though Arlo, my black lab, loves being with me in the kitchen, he can't have chocolate.
No.
Not good for him. So then I got these fancy, we got these for the holidays, these little coupe glasses that we make little sidecars in. But you've got some fancy glasses in your house, martini glasses, wine glasses, even in clear little juice cups or canning jars. So we're going to pour this mousse. And this is really rich, so you don't need a ton of it, into whatever kind of fancy vehicle glass you want. And then you pop them into the refrigerator just for a couple hours, or you can even do this the day ahead. If you're going to do them too far ahead, put some plastic wrap over them. And then when they come out, here's what they look like. They're dense and fudgy and rich. And then I've got some, just because we're going to be fancy-dancy here, just some real whipped cream that we can pipe on top, maybe some fresh berries. And that is just like, I mean, a rock star dessert tastes like $1,000,000, and it's just so yummy. All right, back to these flourless chocolate cupcakes. This should be all melted. Yes, it is. All right, so this is chocolate chips and butter. All right, real simple. We've all got that in our house right now. And that's what I love about both these recipes. You probably have most everything in your kitchen to make them right now.
Absolutely.
So melted chocolate chips and butter. All right, and we're going to do brown sugar. We've got brown sugar, right? Some beaten eggs and some cocoa powder. So again, this is super simple. A lot of my recipes are not only, these days now more than ever, I'm cooking from what I have in my kitchen, in my pantry. Also cooking on a budget. I think we're all watching our pennies these days. So this is one of the desserts that you can't believe how good it is, but it just costs next to nothing to make. All right, so this is our fudgy concoction here. Just kind of mix it all together, get the cocoa powder. Notice there was no flour in here. The cocoa powder does that. And then I'm just using a little scoop. Arlo's right here with me. And then these are cupcakes, so you don't need to fill them all the way up, about halfway through. These are really dense and fudgy, and again, a little dab will do you. Full recipes on the website. Lots of great recipes for Valentine's Day on the website. You know me, I do all the socials, so follow me. I'm also cooking on Instagram, which is fun, so you can run me live from my kitchen. All right, so these go in. The key with these is you don't overbake them. You want them to be really fudgy. 375 for like 10 to 12 minutes. Keep an eye on them. Even pull them out a little bit before they might be done, because you want them to be the consistency of like a fudgy brownie. So here they are. They don't look all that right now. They kind of look like little, Pocky Puffs, right? But let me tell you, I want to break one open so you can kind of see how fudgy they are. And then I'm going to decorate the top. They're just like pure goodness here. I mean, yumminess. Yeah.
I love that.
And then the top of them kind of, collapses a little bit, and it doesn't puff up like a cupcake because it doesn't have baking powder or soda or anything like that. So don't be alarmed about that. When you present them, a little whipped cream on top, and then some berries. And this is like a total rock star dessert. The strawberries weren't looking very good at the grocery store, so I love raspberries and chocolate together. But I mean, how cute are these?
And super simple. I love it. Both
so
of them.
Simple.
Happy early Valentine's Day.
You too. I miss you guys all so much. I hope you're all feeling the love and staying warm. My goodness gracious, it could warm up any time now, huh?
I seriously have a week of it, so we got to get used to it. But happy Valentine's Day. For all of Amy's recipes, go to thecookingmom.com, and there it is. Don't forget to buy her cookbook, The Cooking Mom Cooks Up Memories, wherever books are sold. We're going to take a break. We'll be back to wrap things up right after this. Stay with us. Monday's almost over, Kendall. It's almost over. We almost did it.
It's only 11 a.m.
That's right, but it's almost over. Welcome back, everybody. Hey, you can stay connected with us on social media. I'll be able to talk by 11. Check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. All you have to do is search for Jason Show TV and our personal accounts as well, Kendall Mark and Jason Matheson, and not that other Kendall Mark. Not that other one. Don't follow her. And don't follow the architect, Jason Matheson.
No.
Here's today's Bubblegum Goodbye. Here's the question, Kendall. Who was your childhood crush? We'll answer that spicy little thing when we come back. Back in a moment. Ooh. You gotta think about that. Celeb or non-celeb? Let's say goodbye to our audience today. Goodbye to Joe, Luann, Sarah, and Sally. Thank you guys for being here. I really, really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Thanks, Jason and Kendall.
Thanks, Joe. I'll be over later, Joe. Remember, I told Joe you can come over anytime.
That's true, yeah.
Okay, here's the Bubblegum Goodbye question. Who was your childhood crush? Ladies first.
I loved JTT when I was a kid. Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
Perfect.
And Nick Carter, Backstreet Boys. A little.
Those are two good ones.
Thanks.
Mine is Nicolette Sheridan. I have three. Nicolette Sheridan, Victoria Principal, and Mitch Gaylord. From
Who was that?
Sorry, he was an Olympian. He was a gymnast, and then he was in a movie called American Anthem. Go Google it, and you'll start laughing. But yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was this all like when you like? I was pretty young. This is like younger.
Oh, this is young Jason. This is mid 80s. Yeah.
Okay.
Nicolette Sheridan was late 80s. Victoria Principal was early 80s. Mitch Gaylord forever.
Okay. Yeah, by middle school, I was on Channing Tatum bandwagon, but early times for
And when Kendall was in junior high, I was
here.
My stock options were already pretty high here at Fox. That's going to do it for us. Tomorrow on the show, Miss Shannon will join us, and producer Ted is recapping another Nutter Butters episode of The Bachelor. But right now, that's going to do it for us. If you're watching, you're a kid that's being bullied, go out there and be yourself. Nobody can tell you you're doing it wrong. We'll see you tomorrow. Be safe out there, everyone, please.